Good morning. This is Talk of the Town. I'm Farah Shaukat Ali for News First, and our guest this morning is Mr. Parakrama Dissanayake, a risk management specialist. Good morning, Para.
Good morning.
I was wondering, seeing that you have got a background with the armed forces and so on, when that Salava camp, this very unfortunate blast took place, we have reports to say that approximately 8,000 tons went up, quite literally, in smoke. Now then, with such an amount gone, do you think that we've got enough in storage just in case somebody's trying to start the trouble all over again?
Well, it's like this. Even if you had some problem, you're not going to start any conflict by firing heavy artillery and shells like that. You would be really fighting with small arms, ammunition, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when you see the pictures of what really went up in smoke and what exploded, they are all big artillery shells and projectiles. So I think that's only a myth where, if people say, okay, we've lost all the ammunition, then now we are going to have a problem in the future. No, it's not going to be like that.
So there's absolutely no risk from
Absolutely rubbish.
Rubbish, complete rubbish. But what of the impact on the government's finances? I noticed that the army have rebuilt or repaired around 450 houses. They've got another 70 or so to go. What about, does the army have enough money to do this?
No, what I think is actually it's not going to be the task of the army. The task of the army will be mainly to focus on what is known as UXO, that is, managing unexploded ordnance, and also on stockpiling issues and safety issues. That would be the task of the army, but then that would be a cost. But then, as you say, the task of the government would be to look at things like compensation, assisting victims, contamination, and building and reconstruction, and developing infrastructure in the area. So that's going to cost a lot, and that's not those funds are not going to come from the army, but then it's going to cost the government a lot.
A lot of money.
Yes.
But then we're all right. We've got a facility from the IMF now, haven't we? $1.5 billion. So, we could go on a spending spree. But quite seriously, do you think that they will shift the storage to somewhere where there is lesser civilian life?
Of course they will, of course, and I think that was what they had planned for, but it didn't happen the way they expected it to. I know there are always problems when you deal with bureaucracy, so things take time, and unfortunately this kind of situation happened, and it happens anywhere in the world. I'm not trying to say that that was correct or right, but or condone, but these things happen, and as I mentioned before, about 300 incidents have happened for the last 20 years around the world, and a lot of people's lives have been lost because of this kind of thing.
Thank you for that information, but you also pointed out earlier on our TV program that quite strangely, most of these occurrences, we talk of the 300 explosion around the world, most of them happen on a Sunday.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. So I pointed it out, and I really don't know why that happens, but maybe that people are relaxed and they are not very alert on Sundays. So it's a question that when I was going through the dates, I found that many incidents have taken place on Sundays. So, and Sri Lanka was no different.
There you go. That's one for you, for all our listeners. Work it out. Why do you think it happens on a Sunday? So it's not never on a Sunday. On that score, we'll hand you back to the studio. This is Talk of the Town.